You know what it is. That's right. It's time to talk money with your money nerd and financial coach. Now, tighten those purse strings and open those ears. It's the Money Talk with Tiff podcast.
Hey everyone. So I just got back from FinCon 2022, which was in Orlando, and it was awesome. As you can see by the shirt, if you're watching the video version. So while I was there, I actually got a really good question for Tiffany's take today. And that was, what is the premise behind the podcast? Now, I was asked this by a really good fellow podcasting friend, and she was just making the point that I don't really talk about why I do the podcast at all on the podcast. So I was like, this will be a great question for Tiffany's take. So that way we can do a little reset so y'all can have a little understanding of why I even started this. So I started the podcast because my belief is that the way out of poverty is ideas, right? So the more ideas I can help spread, like TED Talks, right? Ideas worth spreading. The more ideas I can spread, somebody might be listening to it, like you, and say, you know what? I can totally do that. I didn't even know that there was a way to make money like that. I didn't even know that existed, because you don't know what you don't know. And honestly, if it wasn't for my first FinCon, for instance, or interviewing all of these people from around the world, there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even know existed. So that's why I started the podcast, because when Money Talk with Tiff first started, it was just a blog, right? So with the blog, it's all my voice, but I wanted to bring other people in to tell what they do, because I don't do everything. I joke and say, I don't know everything. I know a lot about a lot, but I don't know everything. So I love bringing on experts to talk about what they are good at. So that way, not only my audience can learn, but I can learn as well. And so that's why I started the podcast, and that's why I continue to do it. It's so awesome hearing other people's stories, and then also being the catalyst for other people to start a new endeavor. There's been so many people that reached out to me and was like, Tiffany, because I listened to this episode, I'm starting a new business, or I'm doing this now, or I'm teaching in China now. Hey, it's Tiffany. Are you interested in starting a podcast? We can get up to 2 months of free podcasting service from Libsyn with the code MONEYTALK. Get your show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify anywhere you want. Get critical stats to help you grow. Find all the tools and support you need to sound your very best. And you can even do video. Really bring your podcast to life with Libsyn. You can use code, again, MONEYTALK, to get 2 months of free podcasting service. This is what I use to get my podcast to your listening ears. Enjoy. So it's just, I wanted to get more stories out there so that way somebody that's listening can be inspired to do whatever that thing is that they were thinking about. And even if it's something that's not business related, I've had so many different episodes on so many things, different things surrounding money. It could be divorce and money, or it could be getting a citizenship in Canada. Like, the opportunities are endless. And that's also what I want to portray as well. There's so much opportunity out here, y'all, that you just have to get out there, learn about it, and then implement. And so I'm glad that I can be a platform where people can educate themselves on what opportunities are out there. And if they decide to do it, cool. If they don't, cool. But at least now that they know that it's a possibility. And that's why I started the podcast. So hopefully that answers your question about what the premise of the podcast is. That's my vision and that's my goal when I hop on this mic every week with all these guests, and also now doing the solo episodes, is so that you can get a better understanding of what is out there. And then also, now that I'm doing Tiffany's take, answering your questions. So if you enjoy episodes like this and you have some questions, I would love to hear from you. So in order to get your question submitted for Tiffany's Take, you can go to www.moneytalkwitht.com/Ask Tiffany. And I will take any type of questions. It could be related to personal finance, to business, to me. This question, they were asking me, like, why did you start the podcast? I will be more than happy to answer any questions that come through. Everything is anonymous. So if you've listened to the past couple of episodes, I don't say anybody's name. I just say what the question is. So even if it's something where you want to get into the details a little bit, I'll be more than happy to do that. And it's like free counseling, coaching, consulting on the podcast. So definitely take advantage. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question. And hopefully now you all have a better understanding of why the Money Talk with Tiff podcast exists and why I'm even doing this. I just want to be able to be that catalyst to educate, inspire, and have people go forth and prosper. All right, bye.
Thank you for listening, joining, and being a part of the Money Talk with Tiff podcast this week. You can check Tiff out every Thursday for a new Money Talk podcast. But if you just can't wait until next week, you can listen to previous podcast episodes at moneytalkwitht.com or follow Tiff on all social media platforms at Money Talk with T. Until next time, spend wise by spending less than you make. A word to the money wise is always sufficient.